Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's show. My name is Florian, and I'm so delighted to be with you. This is the first episode from a new series we call this Leadership Conversations. And we have the pleasure to have on our first show a great entrepreneur, CEO, investor, Benjamin von Jahf. Welcome, Benjamin.
Thank you very much, Florine. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you very much for inviting me. Looking forward to this session.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time. Now, for someone that doesn't know you, I know you're involved in different areas, in different organizations. You probably are most known for your construction company, EHRAB, but you also been acknowledged and you had different distinctions. You were the builder of the year in 2020 in the west area of Sweden. You were the innovative company of the year 2021. And so the list goes on and on and on. I think it's a confirmation of that you know some things about leadership. And so I hope that the audience will find some nuggets in what we're going to discuss today. But beyond all that, tell us a little bit about Benjamin that is not on your LinkedIn profile, like a little bit of who's Benjamin behind all that?
That's a good question. To be honest with you, I think it's a eternal question to ask oneself, because it's people are always, or one tends to be under development, if I may say so, for the rest of your life. So I'm still chasing that. But shortly, I would consider myself as an entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur, I would say. I'm driven by a higher purpose, and the companies I invest in is mainly focusing on sustainable business models, and really it goes back to the days when I came to Sweden as a refugee, as a child, with diversity and seeing this journey as one important part of my life. So it has affected me, obviously, in my leadership as well, and the companies I invest in as an angel, but also being operating in companies where has a higher purpose, really. And I invest through my own company called BVJ Group. So in total, we have approximately, in my portfolio at the moment, 15, 16 companies within 5 different industries, I would say. And also currently, something that doesn't say on my LinkedIn profile is that I am writing my first book. So hopefully this year I will release Mellanförskapet, which is about really a memoir, part manifesto about identity and resilience and belonging and so on.
Wow. What prompted you to write that book?
That's a very good question. I've been reflecting for many years. I've been interested in doing something, writing and sharing my journey more than 20 years, I would say. But I've never had the time for many reasons. But I think it's important in this diverse community or landscape we live in today, how things are going in the world. I think equality is important. I think giving people the right to freedom, democracy, is extremely important. So sharing my journey hopefully will give purpose to others, but also insight and understanding of how it is to grow up in a new country, from scratch, having nothing, as a refugee, all the challenges, because there are 2 ways or many ways and perspectives of seeing these challenges. One is from my perspective, growing up, having nothing really, and trying to make it in the society, but also from the society's perspective and from the governmental perspective and from education, school, and so on, and all these stakeholders' perspective. It's always important to see what can they do in order to, or what should have they done in order to facilitate, in order to give me the honest and genuine chance to create a better life and do something of my life, so to say. So this book it's not about me. I'm using myself as a tool, but hopefully it will give insight and understanding and motivation and enthusiasm to other people to both learn from, but also to get ideas and so on from.
Yeah, so it sounds like a really, really good story to motivate someone or to inspire someone that maybe they feel that they don't have a chance, or that they don't have a seat at the table, or maybe that they don't have equal opportunities, right?
Exactly.
And I think I will probably resonate. I look forward to read the book. When is it going to be out? Do you have a date?
Well, we are now in the final phase, and hopefully my goal and ambition is to release the book before the book
Messa.
trade fair Messan here in Gothenburg, which is I think in September. So, but it's in the end of the day, it's rather important to have a book that I can be satisfied with, and I know for a fact it's according to my understandings and what I would like to give out and be proud of. So quality is more important than the timeline. But my ambition is really to reach the book Messan this year.
Well, we look forward to see you there and to read your story. I'm sure it's inspiring, and
thank you.
Yeah, and so many of us will probably resonate. Being a immigrant myself in Sweden, I deeply resonate with that. Maybe I was more fortunate to come from Romania and to not have to be a refugee. I kind of chose to be in Sweden, but still, yeah, I probably been through some experiences that will resonate with me. So really excited about that. I look forward to get a copy and to go through it.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about what will be some of the things you learn over the years. Like you obviously now are at the stage where you been operating in different industries. You are investing in different businesses. You've been doing this for, you said, more than 16 years. So what are some key things that you learn about building these businesses and being an investor and an entrepreneur?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, one of the key things that I've learned over the years is that what works in one industry doesn't really mean it works in another, because in the end of the day, each organization and company, they are driven by by people behind these companies, and I would say strategies depending on your market fit or the market forces in each industry is totally different, and it goes like that continuously. However, I would say in the end of the day, the most important thing is the people behind these companies, as I said, and if you drive these companies with value, and if you create a culture from scratch, I think it's easier to build culture rather than fixing it later. So no matter what industry you are within, you have to really take care of your colleagues and the people within these organizations. So I would say that's one big takeaway. And as I mentioned before, in all my companies, it's really purpose-driven organizations. So having a purpose means that the DNA within the organization and company has a higher purpose. It's easier to focus on what we would like to achieve. Companies that doesn't have a purpose or are not purpose-driven usually experience challenges on reaching their goals and ambitions for many different reasons. So that's a big lesson for me. So no matter what industry it is, really take care of the people, make sure that you have a good culture and build the culture from the beginning, and let the people around you and to be part of that, and so on.
Yeah, so that sounds like a very value-based strategic way of looking at things. And I know you share with me in kind of the pre-talk that you also experience how this sometimes it's not easy to do when maybe the market forces works against you, right? You share a story from EHRAB. Maybe we can just touch on that a little bit. You've been through some challenges in the construction industry. You're not alone. Like, the industry is challenged right now.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you learn some things in that journey. So would you share a bit about that part of the story with us, so we get how important it is to be strategic and to be value driven and value based in your strategies?
Yeah, well, absolutely, Florin. It's as I mentioned before, one of my biggest dreams has always been to have as many employees as possible, to give back, to create value, not only generate money and scale your business. So, and this is really what it's. If one is genuine social entrepreneur, then value creation is vital and paramount. And for me, it's after the pandemic. I mean, we've gone through over the years many different challenges, the euro crisis, the pandemic, the oil crisis, etc. But now the war in Ukraine hit us really badly, if I may say so, and it's not nothing, it's not as surprising at all, because the construction industry is driven by interest rate, loans, and the purchasing power of people. And at the moment, the people are going through a very, very tough time. And in 2022, after a year and a half working hard with pre-IPO, and we were planning to enter the stock exchange market in May 2022. That year, we employed more than 1,200 people across 5 countries. Wow. And it made me really happy, because I could touch my dreams coming true. I employed a lot of people every week. We were employed 2-3 people in the head office, so things were really going well. And then suddenly, and something that within a theoretical boundary, rationality is important. However, a war is not rational, and even though if you have 4 or 5 or 10 degrees from the university, and Porter's 5 forces or 10 forces or whatever it is nowadays, it doesn't really say that some people are driven by their own interest, which has a huge effect and impact on your company and your organization. And a mistake that I did was, I could see my dream, and I really wanted it to be fulfilled. So I employed a lot of people. We were growing, we were expanding, and that year I would say we could have doubled the turnover, even though we grew with more than 400% between 2021 and 2020 and 2022. But what I learned was that it's happy days when you can provide to other people, employ other people, give them be a facilitator and give them a job and so on. But it's more important that to understand that for each person you employ, that one should consider that one day this might happen, and it's out of your control, that you have to let people go. And it really, really hurts when you have to do that, because you in a purpose-driven company, there are a couple of very major challenges. One is to find people as driven as yourself, having a purpose. That's not easy, because if you go out with a job ad, you don't write, are you a purpose-driven person, mainly focused on sustainability or social responsibility? I mean, how can I define that and knowing that? Another thing is, how will you get investment for a company that has a dual interest? Okay, we need to create value, from a financial perspective, but also a social value. So,
which is difficult to measure, right? The social part is more difficult to measure.
It's extremely difficult to measure, and social entrepreneurship and social responsibility, I would say, it's a very, very new topic within the scholars, within within that ecosystem and sphere as well. So it's only been on the last 30 years, I would say. sustainability, everybody knows nowadays what sustainability is, because it goes back at least 50, 60, 70 years back, but it's always focusing on material and the environment. But social responsibility is rather new. So one thing I really learned from this is no matter if things are really going well, you have a huge demand, the market is really pulling your products and services. As a leader, you have to think twice and understanding that the market might change. The market forces might put you in a situation right now which is out of control. It is out of our hands. No matter if you do everything by the book according to theories and really, you can't foresee or you can't predict war in the world or tariffs or whatever it is. So and then hence, because of that, employ people, make sure to grow, choosing clients you would like to work with, and grow with patient, or I would say with in a way that you can handle in the future as well.
Yeah.
For many different reasons.
So it seems like being strategic and also, looking at what is a sustainable pace of growth that we can foresee that maybe would be sustainable over the long run could actually, be a better choice, even in times when you think, oh, everything goes well, there is no reason for this to stop. And so it's very easy, as you say, to get on the wave and then ride that wave, and then you don't know when the wave is going to go away.
Exactly. And it's very easy to jump on the wave when people are pulling your products. I mean, during this period of time, we were overwhelmed of calls and inquiries, and people needed our services in many different countries. So we were so happy, and for me, as having this dream of employing as many people as possible, it was fantastic, really. But I mean, scaling business, my personal subjective perspective at least, is it's making money. It's not difficult, but making money with dual value or dual purpose, it's very difficult for many reasons, as I mentioned before. But in the end of the day, just scaling a business only for scaling, I think it's better, or it's more interesting in investing in the right type of people and making sure to the people within the organization will scale the business instead, because finding right people, it's really not easy within this sector, within this segment, purpose-driven entrepreneurship or social entrepreneurship. So I think if you have the right people on board, scaling will be easier later on as well. And it's also proven from many different studies in university and so on, that's companies and organizations focusing on higher purpose tend to have better growth, reaching more in profits and so on.
Yeah, so it seems the challenge is between the short-term financial return and the longer-term, more impactful and sustainable, impact that we want to make in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, say meaningful growth is more. I think in the long term, it's more stable and rather than only growing your business just to make money. I mean, don't misunderstand me. Of course, it's extremely important to make money, and it's extremely important to make sure that you can assist as many customers and clients in the market as possible. However, I think it's important to choose who you would like to work with from your identity and DNA and culture and so on. Well, that was one of the biggest takes I took from that experience. So losing people or letting people go, downsizing business. It's really hurtful as an entrepreneur. It really breaks my heart because again, I was very selective in choosing the right type of people within our organization, and my organization or the companies I'm within, these people are they are the core in our businesses, and losing them means losing the spirit and so on. So it takes energy, so to say.
Yeah, and we can feel the passion in your voice and why this really matters to you, and it talks a lot about your values, right? And why you are doing what you're doing. If you would be in for the profits, you wouldn't mention all that. You wouldn't talk about that. You would not be, sharing the story of being in a difficult situation and let it go people. So I think this is again, people can see your purpose, can see your intention, and I think this will also attract the kind of people that want to be on that journey, that want to be in that kind of company. So you're an ambassador of your vision and your values.
Thank you very much, Florine. And my dream is, and a goal and ambition is, hopefully the second book is in the future. One day I will focus rather more on social entrepreneurship and how companies and organizations can be value driven, and how to reach and why, or find your own purpose within your organization and so on. So it will be this type of focuses and focus and questions and so on. So it's
We look forward to have you back on the show to talk about your second book.
Thank you.
But if we try to kind of because like you have a lot of experience now, we are in a context where things are moving, like it's very, very unpredictable, right?
Exactly.
What should leader do today? Like if you think about what's important for someone like you, for a leader in today's world, giving all the factors that many of them are outside of our control, what should leaders pay attention to, focus on in this kind of world?
Well, first of all, as you said, it's very challenging. Challenging times. It's very difficult being a leader today, because everything we were taught from the beginning of what is right and wrong now is being challenged. So this affects us as human beings. But from my own perspective, I would say, don't be the smartest person in the room. It's not about you as a leader. A true, honest, authentic leader creates room for other people to thrive within. Let them, take space. Let them be part of the journey, because they are actually creating the journey for you. However, you as a leader, you are a facilitator. You are somebody that provides with the right tools and a platform. You should cherish, you should mentor, you should coach. That's your responsibility, to make sure that everybody reaches their own capacity. And rather than being in center and taking all the space and so on. And also, as I think we mentioned this and touched upon several times now, in these challenges days, what is really a leader? For me, it's honesty. It's being being real. Somebody that can actually share their mistakes, their weaknesses. In the end of the day, we are all human, even though some might not believe so. But and as a human, we are not perfect. Everybody has its strengths and weaknesses, and I think having courage, being clear, clarity, and dare to take a step backwards, let other people take a step forward, and being an authentic person. I think that's what I would like leadership to be. And for me, it really goes down to growing up in Sweden as a refugee. I had the pleasure to be part of the Swedish, society from a football perspective, as being a former football player. So in Sweden, we have, this is a very important part of the society. All the clubs, they're taking a lot of responsibilities. A lot of people are focusing on teaching, educating, strengthening these children. You have to take a responsibility for yourself as a football player or for yourself to become successful. But in the end of the day, you have to also take responsibility for the team. So, no matter if you play good or bad, if the team loses, well, everybody loses. So I think this has also had a nice impact on my personality and my leadership.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think what I would add to that is where probably leaders should play a role today is to kind of create that stability, right? We know a lot of things will change, but what I have found is that if we can focus back and maybe refocus on some of the things that we know is not going to change, like, our mission is not going to change, right? Our values are not going to change. What we want to achieve in the world is going to probably be the same. Doesn't matter if now it's COVID or it's Ukraine or it's tariffs. Like, that shouldn't change, who we are and what we try to achieve. And I have found that in times like this, if leaders could actually provide that solid foundation for people and then refocus whenever we're getting distracted by all these things, then if we can refocus back, okay, so let's go back to our mission. What did we say we want to achieve? Has that changed now because of this or that? No. Okay, so what can we do in today's world? So that's, building on what you just said, I think that's also one thing that in today's world leaders should play that role. It's still for leaders to play, to refocus the team and to bring the team back into the mission and the values of the organization.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree with you. I think people would like to be led by a leader, a human leader, not somebody pretending to be perfect, but somebody also that knows what is right is right. Somebody with a foundation, somebody with a true, authentic, DNA and culture. It's a crazy world we live in. So I think it's hence, due to that, I think it's extremely important. It's paramount for all leaders in all organizations, no matter if it's within a sports club or a company or to take responsibility now, because there are a lot of crazy things going on out there. And together, that's the only way we will be able to create an impact, to make a change for the better and for our future generations. So one of the things that really motivates me every day, no matter how tough things are, it's I want to see my grandchildren in the future, and I want them to be proud of what I have achieved. So building for future generations, it's not short-term thinking. It's about doing something that will last for a very long time, and this is what we need, I think, now in the world as well.
Yeah, I fully agree. Now we are at top of the time. One last question here. What was the best leadership advice you ever got, and how did that help you?
Oh, Jesus. The best leadership advice. I
Or
mean, I
advice
think
in general, or advice
in
from.
general, I think, as mentioned many times before, we work with human beings. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, but everybody wants to be part of something and being said, being heard, feeling belonging and needed. So I mean, being a leader, I would say you have to be somebody that really good listener, somebody that can understand other people's challenges. Um, a smile is a smile sometimes, but it's underneath that smile might be many other things. So be authentic. Give everybody some time in your team and in your organization. Go out of your office. Make sure to meet people on the ground doing the hard work, listening to them, understand their lives and so on, will have a huge impact on your organization, and do it authentically. I mean, it's very easy to see when somebody does that only for for other reasons.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, that's so valuable, and I fully agree with you. That's today's world. We're so busy, and we sometimes neglect these things. We don't take the time to connect with our people. We're not seeing the people behind kind of the roles or the titles.
Yeah.
And if we're able to do that, especially in today's world where they might not have the certainty and the stability that they had before, I think that will be really, really helpful. Thank you so much, Benjamin. It was a pleasure in having you. We look forward to read your book when you're going to have it and published. Make sure you let us know. We're going to want to feature you maybe again to talk about it, or at least to share the link with our audience and subscribers. I'm sure there will be some really good nuggets into that book, and I look forward to catch up around the city.
Thank you very much, Florine, and for the opportunity, and everybody, thank you for listening. Again, good luck with everything you do. It's a fantastic. I follow you, Florine, for a long time, and I think you're doing a great job. So thank you for letting me part of your journey.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. All the best.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And I look forward to see you in 2 weeks' time with another guest. We're going to announce it very soon. All right. Take care. Have a great Friday. So we're going to